So, what's up, guys? Crazy day. Haven't earned in a little while, and it's all good. Get back into it. I'll watch out for sure. Crazy people. Okay, so what I want to talk about for my vlog that never got started, that I can start now. When I first started riding motorcycles, I'd look at all these big motor vloggers and start searching like, how do you ride a motorcycle? How do you shift a motorcycle? Stuff like that. And that's how I learned how to ride. Like, I picked up my motorcycle before I had the MSF class because I kind of knew how to do it. And the one thing, like, you know, you can learn a lot, like how to counter steer, how to ride, how to, like, everything. Just like you can run through it in your mind, you know how to do it, and you can have it all down. But if you don't, like, there's one thing I missed, okay? And that was that, like, clutch control is like super important. In the MSF course, safety courses, they kind of teach you how to do it by like just having you go straight line in a parking lot. Just kind of like go fast, then slow down, just stop, and then start up, and just like, even just like not going fast, just like start rolling and then stop, start rolling and then stop. Because that first part of getting the motorcycle rolling is like the hardest thing to learn, like when you're first starting out. Like counter steering, okay, you just steer opposite, you're all good, that's how you lean. But like how you steer the bike, or I mean how you like start the bike off. Like if you just let out the clutch, it'll just like kill it. And you can do it, but you have to let it out like really gently. And that's kind of how I first started. When I first started riding, I thought you had to just let out the clutch slowly, and that was it. Like if you do it gently enough, then it works, which it kind of works on 300s, and you know, some of those motorcycles have like a, I don't know how the power is set up, but like super sports, especially this SV650, I have a ton of torque low down, but it's not really like the same. Like if you just pop that clutch, you're gonna kill it. The engine meshes up with the rear tire that's not moving, and your tire stops moving. And what you have to do to kind of overcome that is you have to like slowly let out the clutch into that friction zone where you're like starting to move, but it's like kind of grabbing. But even there, like I let out really slow, and it died. Like, so that was really hard, because like getting used to that, like where you have to let it out just slow enough so that you like your engine RPM start to drop a little bit when it starts to grab, and then it'll catch back up. But you just have to kind of like pause when the RPM start to drop. You have to pause there, and what you have to do is you're just like, to make it way easier, add a little throttle, like sit at like 3,000 RPMs, and then when you let out the clutch, when it drops down a little bit, but it doesn't die. You gotta like add some RPMs to it. You can be even higher, like 4. You know, drag racers, they'll start off really fast. They'll have it like way up there. If you want to do a burnout, you need it like way up there. You know, but just like get it up, add a little bit of throttle. You don't need much. Like you can have it up to like 2,000, somewhere in there, like 1,800 even. Just have some throttle on it. Have the engine running a little higher, and then I'll try letting out the clutch. Like way easier. And like I learned it in the course, and it's like, oh. Like, I don't even think I learned it in the course, because the motorcycle I had was so basic that so like simple that it, GTR there. The motorcycle I had was so, it was like a WR 250 or something like that, some cool supermoto. But like the clutch was so nice, you just like let out the clutch enough and it works. And that's on a lot of the bikes there, but like, you kind of gotta like, I don't know where I first discovered it, like add a little bit of throttle, get it up, like the engine revving a little bit, to like 3,000, and then slowly let out the clutch, and it'll just be like super easy. no problems at all. I'm gonna run into some of that rush hour right now. It's gonna be a little crazy, really crazy, as far as relatively relatively busy, depending on restriction, out of town or in town you're coming. And now is like one's time that I wouldn't mind lane splitting, honestly. Like, someday if I ever do start lane splitting, it's gonna be in situations like this where I'm just, but see, then the light turned green. I would have been like halfway past that fire truck, and then the light would have gone and cars start moving, and then you're just like, they're not ready for you to cut in front of them, cut in beside them, you know, like that. They're gonna get mad. Bad reputation for bikers, which we don't need to add to. Little brup there. Awesome little engine this thing has. Yeah, listen to that. A little downshift. Ah, it grabbed hard. Yeah, there we go. Neutral. Cars are pretty good here about seeing you. Like, I don't feel like I need to lane split right now. You know, like they kind of give me some room, which is nice. But you're gonna find, I'll probably run into that one time when there's gonna be somebody texting. They get like a little too close, so I probably should be sitting up close to that other car so that they stop with good distance to. So once you release that clutch and you're moving, you know, you can start to feel yourself moving. You can pull back on it and like disengage your engine again. You can kind of feel that, so you can like slowly let it out, feel it, the engine pulling your bike, and slowly release it. Feel it stopping. When you are going, you can like disengage the clutch and you can feel that it does nothing, and then you're engaged. So like when you're starting, like just starting up from a stop, you can kind of feel that friction zone and like where it contacts, where it doesn't. So like when you first get a bike, that's what you want to play around with and kind of get used to that. And that's something I didn't see in all like the how to ride videos. I mean, you kind of see it, but like they don't explain that. Like, add some throttle. If you don't have a tachometer, just add a little bit of what like feels like rev it in neutral, and then you kind of know the RPM range, and then get it up there. It doesn't like, could be like a quarter of the RPM range, it could be like half the RPM range. Probably gonna be fine if you let out the clutch slow. You let out the clutch slow and you're all good. If you don't have throttle, it's gonna die. If you have too much throttle, then it's gonna take off pretty fast. So you don't want to pop that clutch out, because then you'll like, you know, maybe pop a wheelie or something. Which, don't ask me, because I haven't tried that yet. But I haven't tried really high rev start off, so I can't speak for that. But if you were to like let it off too, you know, the higher the RPM, the faster your engine's gonna be going, and your rear tire isn't. So then somehow they have to catch up. So you want your RPMs to be kind of low, but if they're too low, then when it bogs down and that wheel catches, it's just gonna like kill your engine. So you gotta have your engine stronger than your than the frictional than the like the torque of the rear tire. It's got to have your engine torque higher than the wheel torque. Wheel torque not moving, it's exerting a force, basically just friction and a little bit of gravity too, because since it's a heavy wheel, so you got a heavy wheel sitting there that's not moving, then you get moving. Plus it's a sticky wheel because it's a motorcycle tire, extra sticky. Plus it's like contacting the ground, so it's like actually not moving and doesn't want to move. So you have to like, that's some like, it has like when you try and exert force on it, your engine, it's going to have to fight against all those other forces, which are kind of creating a torque on it. And if you don't overcome those, then your engine's going to not move. You do overcome those, and the wheel's going to start turning. That's pretty simple, at least for me. What time is it? It's after 5? Yeah. Oh, it's still just 25. Phooey. So, yeah, that rear wheel is just sitting there, and if you try and pull it, there's all these forces, like the friction of the axle, the friction on the ground, just the rotating mass of it that's not going to want to turn. You know, like if you try and roll a tire, it's going to like take a little bit of force to get it to move. So like you gotta give a good push. So you got all these like forces that you gotta like overcome. And so your engine has to be revved up. And the first day I went to get my bike, I didn't think about that. And I thought if I revved it up, then I'd have some dire consequences, like you know, pop a wheelie or something weird like that. So anyway, I stalled it about 2 times every time I came to a stop, and I was riding, like, test rode on some back streets, so I was, you know, a lot of stop signs, neighborhoods, and like every stop I came to, it'd be like, kill it, kill it, and then I'd get lucky and somehow messed it up because I let it out just slow enough, you know. And once I kind of had this idea that all the other motovloggers, when they tell you, like some of them will tell you to add throttle, so you're releasing the clutch, right? And when the engine RPMs start to bog down a little bit, you slowly add throttle then. So you're kind of, as you release the clutch, you're also adding some throttle to make sure the engine doesn't bog down. And the problem with that, this motorcycle right here, that like friction zone, the clutch, when it engages, is so small that like I slowly release it, see the engine start to bog down, try and add throttle, and like it'd still die because that clutch was engaging. I was releasing just too fast, which is really tight, which is awesome for, you know, I like it. Really, like really tight, like works well. But then you got that problem where if you, you know, it engages quickly. So if you don't have the throttle added soon enough, then your engine's gonna die. So you, just to make it easy, add throttle beforehand. It's not gonna hurt anything. Just add some throttle, get the RPMs up there a little bit, you know. Might not, like above idle, so you should, you know, good estimate would be like 1,000 above idle, 1,000 RPMs above idle. Start there. You can add a little more if you need to. If you're having problems with it, just make sure it's there. So you'll see me at like red lights. If I see the cross turn yellow, I'm just gonna start adding some throttle so I'm ready to take off when my light turns green. You know, they're turning yellow, they're gonna stop, and I can go. So like, just, you can add throttle. It's like you don't have to sit there and idle at 0 and then, oh, the light's green, let's release my clutch. Oops. So yeah, that's like the biggest advice that would have helped me when learning. So I hope that it helps some of you. Check out the other videos. There's a ton of other ones on how to, like, you know, basics of riding. If you want me to do something on specifically, I can. Some specific topic on how to ride, definitely. But like starting out, like, this is like the one thing that would have helped me. So hope that helps. There's like so much on YouTube. You can find anything just by searching it. Don't be afraid to like search like your favorite motovlogger's name and then like how to ride, because they probably did a video on it. All those bigger guys, you know, Chase on 2 Wheels, Jimmy R6, Adrian Nickelodeon, yeah, I can't remember any right now, but like the big guys, they've done cool videos how to ride. So if you've never ridden before, go check it out, because I knew like exactly what to do before I sat on a bike, except for that clutch thing. Like, come on, like it should have been simple, but like I didn't think you should add any gas for some reason. Like you should add it slowly as you release it, so it's kind of at the same time. So like as your engine messes, then you can start to add more gas, so you're not like revving it, but like that's like if you're on a racetrack, okay? You want to like release the clutch and start adding more throttle so you're like taking off fast like this, you know? Oh, neutral. So, but if you're just like street, you know, riding around town, just learning, like keep your throttle steady until you like start to accelerate, you know, up to like 10 miles an hour. You don't have to like jerk your throttle around all the time. So like add some throttle and slowly release the clutch and you're all good. And then if you want to accelerate a little faster, then you can add a little more throttle, but like it's not, doesn't have to be something hard. Like 25, slowly release it, and they drop all the way down to 1, and then you're good, and you're moving, and your hand's off, and you're just like coasting. And then you can pull in the clutch, pull in the brake, you're all good. So I like always get up, but I try and just hold it like around 3. And once you start moving, you can add more. You want to take off a little faster, add a little more gas, but keep it around 3 to begin with. You're not gonna do a burnout or anything like that unless you have the front brake held on. So when you're stopped at a stoplight, you know, holding the clutch, don't do the brake while you try and release the clutch. That'll kill your bike really fast because you're not moving. You have so much like torque to overcome, and then you release the clutch. That's when you need to like get RPMs really high, get up in your power band, and then you can do a burnout. But let's see, I'll get out on the main road here and try a little bit harder startup to show you what it feels like if you have the RPMs too high. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna back slope. The RPM's really high, release the clutch slow, it's all good. So like it doesn't even matter what RPM you're at, just get it up like 3,000 RPMs, should be golden. Release the clutch slow, and then practice that. Like when you first get on a bike, kind of find out where the clutch is gonna pop out, you know, because like on mine I have like there's such a like short little like just barely moving that clutch handle, and it's all disengaged. Which is awesome for shifting, you know, I can speed the shift like super quick. You know, just shifting, small movements, which I love. You know, get things smooth, get things going, which it's not as, it's not like jerky power band like 600 Super Sports, but it can still be pretty rough if you're not smooth with it. So, hope you guys like that. Let me know if you want any other things, any other tips, any other, anything I can do for you, I will try to do it. So, see you later.